Welcome to the Best Damn Arm Wrestling Sports Show. This is Tony Kitowski from Wisconsin, Stevens Point. I've been arm wrestling for 19 years.
And you got Reza Dilmaganian from South Arizona.
Scott Wynn from Southern California. What's up, fellas? How you doing?
What's up?
Couldn't be better.
Yeah, you got a beautiful background there. You out on your deck?
You bet I am. Got nothing but wilderness behind me.
Gotta love that. I got a freeway behind me.
Fuck that. I can piss off any corner of my house, not be seen by a neighbor.
Oh man, I love that. That's Reza's world now.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll show you guys a picture of my
Are you
back.
gonna show off already?
Oh no, okay, I'll leave it alone.
well, you can see a Porsche drive by once in a while, I'm sure, Scott. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's true. I get to see all kinds of big trucks and traffic jams.
Traffic jams.
Good shit, man. So Tony, what got you into arm wrestling?
I was always a sports guy all the way through school, junior high, elementary school. Once I got into ninth grade, popularity became more important to me, and I quit all my sports, baseball, football, and just started fighting. I guess I used to fight a lot. I was a redneck. Pretty much anybody even looked at me, I was always pissed off. I don't think I was pissed off. I just liked to do it. Got put through 2 years of anger management, and the anger management counselor flat out said, "I'm not angry. He just likes to fight." But the principal of the school insisted I take the class. And then after high school, I said, I want to play again. I want to play sports. I don't care about being Mr. Badass anymore. And I want to play sports. And I tried a couple things. I tried boxing. I didn't care for that. I tried, I thought about modeling, and that didn't happen, obviously, thank goodness. And then, then I just heard about this random fundraiser with an arm wrestling event at it. And I went to it and took first right-handed and second left-handed. And
Wow.
so this is it. And
How old were you?
I was 18.
18?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So then 20 years later?
20 years later, multiple surgeries, lots of pain. I'm still at it.
Oh, man. That's how we are. We're diehards, man. Arm wrestlers definitely are true warriors.
I just call us stupid, Scott. I just call us all stupid.
Now,
Yeah.
Tony, what was the first big win you had in your arm wrestling career? Was it a tournament or was it an individual?
It was individual, I guess. Besides like the wall events or national titles, that was my, bigger wins too. But my first initial big win for a person was back in, I want to say 2004 or 3-ish. I beat Bill Bollinger. And that for me at that time, plus he was a heavier guy than me too. That to me was a huge win. So, just because he was a guy with Popeye arms and I was blowing through most people at tournaments. And then he blew through me in 2002, I think it was, or 2003. I came back, and then that's when I beat him.
Yeah, Bill's a beast. He's always been a beast. I arm wrestled him back in the 90, I think it was 92 in Chicago at the Midwest Championships.
Yeah.
I went there after I was at the Yukon Jack finals, and the next day we went to this Midwest competition, and I met Bill Bellinger, and it was him and I in the finals, and we locked up for a long ass time. But I was just like, dude, this little man is a beast, He's I believe he's an electrician, right?
That I don't know. I even know.
I think he worked for the city. I remember him telling me he would roll like rolls of copper or wire or something. And I was like, Jesus, no wonder your forearms are so huge.
Yeah, repetition on that one. He's building mass.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy though. Super cool dude.
I kind of want to review this match that you had. It's a little bit from it's one of your Arm Wars matches. I believe it's with Jeff Hell, actually.
Yeah, Jeff Hale, yep.
That's what year was this? This looks recent, like not that long ago.
This, Boy, this is probably 7, 8 years ago,
Wow.
something like that. Yeah.
Was this the first time you pulled him in a super match?
Yeah, actually it was. The last time I pulled him was years prior at Nationals where he was just beginning, so I blew through him. But I pulled him the day prior to this, left-handed, and he beat me. I
Oh.
wasn't real technically sound at that point the day before, and I still wasn't. But he ended up beating me because he got me in a hook every time. And then the next day, I went up to Tony Bishop and I'm drawing a blank. What the heck's his name? Hands of Steel.
Bill Longston.
Bill Logsden, yes. Went up to them both and I said, how do you take a hook away, man? Show me. And they showed me. And, obviously I didn't execute it perfectly, but it was enough to take his side pressure away. So I was able to pin him. I think I lost to him one time that out of a 6 or something like that, right-handed. So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And how was your trip in Turkey?
The trip was great. I mean, Ingen Terzi. First of all, I got to say thank you to Ingen Terzi, Joshua Grant, Herman Stevens. These guys put a lot of their own money into the event on top of what was raised to get it actually finished,
Yeah.
But I mean, they took care of us athletes very well. I got there, I had a shuttle from the airport to the hotel. And then once we got to the hotel, unless we chose otherwise, which we did a couple times, all the meals were given to us. We were given the details and all the way up through the tournament. And even after the tournament, we got meals fed to us. So they took care of us very well.
Yeah, I wanna kind of look at one of your matches that you had here.
I haven't even watched them yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, in that first setup,
That was the first one.
yeah, in that first setup, it really looked like you took control of his hand and he kind of dived under you.
Yeah, he was intentionally going for the strap, I think. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, I struggle. Bozhidar he's a true warrior, an athlete that I think will probably be one of the best in, essentially the best in the world, even at higher weight classes eventually, just because of everybody knows he's strong already. Yeah, his table IQ is, very seldom do I go to the table and get outsmarted by a competitor with table IQ, and he did it almost every single time. And I complimented him on that too, and I said, "You got a bright future in the sport." And then right there, you got his lock. His lock is right there, like a lot of Europeans are, and that's in my lock too. My lock is also right down in that section, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he's got you palm up, which gives him a little
Right.
bit more of an advantage.
Yes, he does. Yep. And I couldn't, he's such a powerful individual. I couldn't bring him back enough to rotate around that at all, So, and his supination with his pinky down in like that is ridiculously strong.
But he
Truly.
definitely chops down real hard. You can see.
Yep.
Slower rotation.
Yep.
Did
Yeah,
you
he's
try
a-
and change your game plan at all, or what were your thoughts after your first or second match?
Yeah, I tried doing the tricep press with Jerry Cataret, but the way he set up against me, I couldn't do it. And he flash pinned me that time. But as far as after I think it was a fourth match or fifth match, one of the two, he just asked me, "Do you want to go in the hook?" I said, "Sure, why not? Because I can't take you out of it. I'll go right into it." So, but yeah, I think that was the one where I tried the tricep press and it didn't work.
Okay.
I mean, his stamina, everything is a table IQ, his speed.
You've
And there's me
competed against
I got my ass kicked.
you've competed against a lot of the top lightweights in these states. Do you think there's anyone in the states that would potentially have the strength or technical ability to present a challenge to him or to potentially beat him?
Technical ability, possibly Sam Harris in the States. As far as power, no, there's nobody in the States with the power. But technical ability, maybe Sam Harris.
I don't know. I'm looking at that little hand.
He's actually got a little bitty hand.
He does look like he's got a little hand. He's just wrapped around you.
Yeah, I got him. I got him by probably 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch on the length of the hand. We
And
compare.
you didn't feel like you could top roll him like at any point in any match?
Yeah, I felt it, and then they said go. You know,
And he just forced you in?
yeah, he's so technically sound, and the Europeans are so fast at getting that hook set, and their rotation in is just
Cutting
stupid.
in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that offset pad helps with that too for hooking.
Well, I also
For
feel,
sure.
Scott, snapping in with your move is quicker than snapping out with your move. That's just
Right.
me
Right,
personally.
right.
I feel like you're like throwing a hook punch and just snapping inside with your whole torso. Your
Yeah.
body just wants to do that. I feel it's a quick.
Well, that's why you got the back door, right? Because you're
Yeah.
getting that. So you got to hit after they hit to try to come
Exactly.
out this way.
right.
But
Yeah.
if he's wrapped around your hand and you can't get that
Oh,
rotation and you get stuck out here, now you got that distance to deal with.
Right. It's a smaller movement, right? You got this, or you got this, and you're essentially moving every body part from your shoulder down into your hand, right? So you're moving a whole lot right here comparative to just this.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, that's a huge advantage to Bozhidar. But like I said, he also remained humble through the whole thing too. So he's super nice kid, 23 years old. He's just a little shit.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just a little shit.
Yeah, we got a lot of young dudes coming up that are monsters already, man.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary fast.
Yep. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing them coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott's probably excited to see this match, but here we go.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's where I beat him in Minnesota. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great warm-up match.
Yeah. That's what I tell everybody. I let you win.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to see what I could do to you here. So we went inside. I wanted to see if I could roll you.
Yeah, when you cranked up on my hand, I was just getting ready to do a move, and I looked down and you pivoted and just went outside and took my hand.
Yeah. I like doing that. I learned that move from watching Brzezinski a lot.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was waiting for you to do to that Bozhidar dude. I thought for sure you were going to do just that. And didn't happen.
Yeah, talking about training, Tony, who have been some of the influences in your training along the years?
Undoubtedly number one, John Brzezinski. So I watched hundreds and hundreds of hours of him. Based my style off of his style, given I had to make some changes because he's much bigger than me.
Yeah.
So John Brzezinski I've studied far more, and not because he's the best, in my opinion, the GOAT, but because of his technical abilities. And that's what I feel that, if you have the genetic potential, which he obviously does, there's certain people that do. Myself, I have genetic potential. If you have the genetic potential to be strong, all you have to do now is get the technicalities down. And that's what I was studying John so much for. And, I did study Bajent a little bit, but that was just for the pure up pressure. I wanted to see how he set up in the strap. I wanted to see how he does that high strap setup, and it just, he manipulates the hand a little bit, but for Travis, it's just a lot of brute strength.
Yeah.
The guy's damn strong. And Todd Hutchings, I studied him mainly for side pressure. Those are my main three guys I really looked at throughout. I didn't start studying really anybody until 2000, roughly. Who the heck? When was that? Probably 2016, 15, probably 2015. Yeah. So I went to WAL, and I didn't do well that year. So then I went home and I started studying.
Yeah.
My wife was still mad at me to this day about it because I watched hours and hours and hours and hours of it. So until I literally memorized every video, or I don't even got to watch it anymore, right? So then that's when I started taking their styles, their workouts. I mean, Hutchings was posting his workouts, so I was able to take their workouts, bring them into my shed, and turn them into my own workouts. Do the same form, but just kind of make it my own. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Based on my body style.
Yeah.
Very cool. So give us, let's hear some of the secrets. What are
There
you
is-
doing? What's your three favorites?
My three favorites, rotation, pronation, supination. That's one of my favorites. Obviously,
What are you doing for it?
the only pronation, supination I do is with a 12-pound maul. That's all I do. Otherwise, everything else just kind of gets worked into my routines. Hand strength, I love hand strength. Unfortunately, with hand strength also comes tennis elbow, stuff like that.
Right.
So that's something I got to constantly work on with deep tissuing. Side pressure was always one of my favorites. I've been kind of limited to that lately due to my surgery and lack of healing properly and so on and so forth. I used to have a boatload of side pressure and it's kind of petered out a little bit lately.
What's the surgery that you just had?
That was
God.
18 months ago. So it was
18.
2 major surgeries in one. The UCL had to be completely repaired in the elbow, and also the pronator was detached from the bone. So that had to get reattached. And then obviously all your scar tissue and bone spurs and everything else that was in there.
Wow.
So I was in the same robotic arm that you were in for a while for, gosh, I want to say about 4 months.
Wow.
And then I got it off and I was able to start moving it around a little bit, but the pain, inner elbow pain, never really went away. So I still have that. I mean, when I pulled Bozhidar, it just flared right up the second match.
Yeah, it sucks.
No, in fact, you could see it in that one video. I just go down and grab my elbow and I'm trying to massage it because it's a pain of like a 7 out of a 10. You know, it's
Yeah.
something I just pulled through. I said, piss on it. I don't care at this point. Let it rip back off the bone. I don't care.
Oof. Yeah, I still deal with that every practice. It doesn't matter. And then it's the release for me. It's as soon as we let up that it just goes, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
And then I can't straighten my arm for a few minutes. But
Yep.
yeah, that's part of the game, I guess. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're stupid. We just keep doing it.
Yeah. For the big money. It's for the big
What's
money.
the next goal for you? Do you have any further goals?
I'd like to get to Zloty. That's my next bucket list. If they have it again, I've heard rumors that they might not be having it, especially this year. But that's my goal. I mean, so the Zloty tournament is probably my last final goal in the arm wrestling career, and I don't even have to win it. I just want to go.
Yeah, just for the
It's
experience.
You know, that's everybody says that's the god of arm wrestling events, right? So
It's a killer, bro. It broke me multiple years, but it was an amazing experience. I mean, definitely something you should have once in your time, you know.
Right.
Athlete.
and just to pull those guys, right? I mean, there are a lot of European guys. It's all hook arm wrestlers, right?
You experienced one European, now go experience a whole class of Europeans. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's some bad dudes, but like I said, I don't feel too bad about losing. I went up to Bozhidar afterward, and I didn't even know Bozhidar. I didn't do a lot of research on anybody since my surgery.
Honestly, Tony, once I found out he was one of Krasimir's training partners, I was like, I feel bad for Tony. This kid is like a beast, dude. I just knew because I had seen videos of him previously and I knew who he was, and I was like, Tony's gonna have his hands full. Like,
Yeah,
this kid's gonna.
I walked up to him afterwards. I said, "So you're like ranked number 2 or 3 in the world, aren't you?" He's like, "Pretty sure I'm ranked number 1." I'm like, "Oh, I guess I don't listen to you anymore, man." 23 years old, he's ranked number 1 in the world. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's young, man. You know, he's got the genetics. He had amazing training partners. You know,
Yep.
amazing coach, and you know he's at that age. Let him catch up to you guys and see where he's at. If he's still pulling, you know, then he's doing something right.
Well, most European pullers don't last that long, right?
Yeah, I mean they definitely come and go. You know, it's definitely supplementation.
Yeah, and you know, do you think it's also their pulling style because they pull so deep in the hook
So
that it puts pressure and strain?
this is my opinion on careers. If you look at like arm wrestlers that focus to coming out the back door, they encounter less injuries, and they do encounter injuries when somebody hits them with inward rotation going outwardly, for example.
Right.
But the athletes that are encouraged to do inward rotation, they're encouraged to do shoulder, they're doing a hook of some kind, anything that you're doing this kind of motion.
Mhm.
It's all going straight to the inside of the elbow. It's creating scar tissue and damage. And I think that's a big contributor to European slash hook slash high hook slash all the people that utilize all these side pressure techniques. They all get damage in the long run.
Right.
Versus like the people that can stick to this kind of motion, I think that they'll have longer careers. But it's very difficult to manage that because, again, even if you're top rolling, someone hits you with side pressure, that's still hitting that same
Right. It's
same
just,
spot. So
I agree with you. I think that's the main reason why you don't see him arm wrestling for as long. But even still, if they hit you and you're top rolling, there's still not as much side pressure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm throwing numbers out there. I have no idea. Let's say Bozhidar and I have 300 pounds of, pressure in between our arms. If I would have taken away his hook and he would have been pushing me, there probably would have been more like a 200.
A question I actually haven't asked anyone on the show that I used to do for my own testing, and I've introduced this to a lot of Americans, this concept of using the digital crane scale to determine what your max is, to use that as a way to determine your percentages to work with for your exercises.
Sure.
And I'd be interested to see what your 1 rep max would have been when you were perfectly healthy before the surgeries, to see like, because I know, for example, when I was supplemented, I was at my strongest at my peak for back pressure, I was generating almost 90 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can use that and kind of compare it and then look at somebody else and see their numbers and kind of see like strength for strength, how do I compare? There's obviously technique and cadence that are going to play into a match.
Right.
But number for number.
Kind of up pressure, back pressure were you talking, like on the table itself or just picking weight up off the ground?
No, so on the table you have the 3 back pressures that I would test. One would be elbow down, and then it's maintaining this angle, not changing the biceps angle, and strictly working with your lat. That's one.
Sure.
That, to me, that's the strongest angle you have because you're using your biggest muscle categories. The second one would be actually using a little bit of movement in here, so closing that gap while engaging the lat. So you're using 2 vectors. And then the final one, which is the one that I could do the 90 pounds in, is actually just using the biceps connection. So isolating the elbow, no elbow movement on the pad, and then just doing this motion. And I would go from here, just directly under the chin with a slightly positive wrist, and a lot of the Europeans, if you look, they're all testing their maxes with similar movements. And I think it's just it's like a way of like seeing like how you square up before, how you match up before you actually match up, like comparing the numbers. Again, technical skills. I always believe if a person's 15% stronger than you, technique don't matter. They're just gonna do whatever they want to you. But if there's a 15% variance in strength, that's where the technique can kind of change outcomes.
Right. Yeah, that's just it. That's technique is mainly for, very similar power-wise people. And Bob Brown had a great video about that.
Yeah.
So as far as technique versus strength. And sometimes you got like guys like Dave Chafee, right? He doesn't have a whole lot of technique. He's just a bull. Just a bull. Same with Andre Pushkar, right? He was pure power. Paul Talbot, pure power. They'll flat out say power, power, power.
Paul gets in some crazy positions and brings himself back. I'm like, that's one guy.
Yeah, Paul's very technical. He's not just strictly power. He's definitely technical. He finds the angles and those lanes and he takes advantage of them. He's good at that.
Really I'm just going off what he said in 2015 on camera. He's just pure power.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm more on the other side of the spectrum of technique. As far as that percentage, I'm not so sure. I would have to be individualized, because I know that I can give a lot of guys trouble. And then there's guys that can't beat me that are like 10 times stronger than I am. They know how to arm wrestle a little bit. They don't know what I know. So I'd say technique over power. Nobody's going to win if they're a pipsqueak. That's a gimme. But you get guys that are close in power, but a guy's much bigger and heavier, which
but
you can beat them.
Scott also, I did a study, and it was pretty much like, what's the average American's grip strength? And the average American male in 1950 had approximately almost 80 pounds of grip strength. Now that's down to about 45 to 50 pounds. So
You're doing time travel now?
no, I'm just so that means that the average, which is like, I think it's like 70 or 80% of Americans only have like, let's say at most 80 fucking pounds, dude. And then
Yep.
you come into arm wrestling where I'm a lightweight guy and I can close a 2.5. That's 250 pounds. So someone grips up with me, even though he might be bigger, his tendons aren't developed. That's actually a form of strength.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that counters all of these, because first everything's working through the hand. You know, unless we go to a strap and then it applies here, and now it's all these big muscle categories.
Yeah, it's weird though. That's the thing. Like, because I could tell you just from this last weekend, I pulled with the guys from up north, and gripping up with them, right? They're stronger than I am, right? And we're doing a lot of the same things, but I'm still able to control them. Yet these guys are closing that number 2 gripper 2, and I can't fucking budge it. Like, I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I got strong hands. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
So it didn't apply the same. You know what I mean? So that's why it's just so hard to put that into perspective when like, it's like I said, even with weights, like, I'm not strong. A 50-pound dumbbell is scary. Like, be careful. I'm going to hurt myself by straining. That's because I'm not strong like that. You know what I mean? I rely on leverage and hand, you know, that's my 2 main components.
I have a analogy I like to use with people because, you know, most people you see on the street, they have no idea. You can tell them you can close 250 pounds with your hands, they ain't gonna have a clue.
Yeah.
Now you can tell them you can bench 500 pounds, they're gonna be like, holy shit. No, but 250 pounds with your hand, they don't have a clue. So I like to put it as an analogy. I said it's a little discomforting or kind of disgusting, but to put it into perspective for you, it
Crush
takes
your skull.
80 pounds to crush a human skull. I said, so I could crush a human skull. Yeah, you've heard that one.
Oh, I say the same stuff.
So I put it into perspective, and then their eyes get really big. He's like, so you're telling me you could reach out and crush my skull right now? I said, yeah, I could. You know, I could probably literally just crush it within an inch of each side. Because I got such strong
Make his
and
make his head into a bowling ball. Huh?
So yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean, I've hurt people's hands just shaking their hands. So I've gotten so used to shaking with a limp hand. You know, not super limp, but somewhat of a limp hand. Because
yeah.
you know, like especially computer guys, you shake their hands, it's like shaking a 4-year-old girl's hand.
They're super limp.
And they're trying.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Tony?
I'm just training. I'm still healing from the Bozhidar match. My left is just, I don't know, and I just blew up within seconds of the first match. But my left was in terrible pain last weekend still. It's still in pain now. I did do a hand workout tonight. Right hand, I did it heavy because my right is fine. Still got some inner elbow pain, but just did a hand workout, heavy right-handed, but my left hand, I just went real light tonight. So I'm just training right now. I have no future events or fights planned.
IFA, September? No,
No,
not
there's
interested.
something going on that weekend. I wanted to go to it, but there's something going on that weekend. I don't remember what it is.
Like another tournament?
No, like a wedding or something.
Oh,
I can't remember what it is because I was talking to some of my teammates and they were going to go, and I'm like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But then obviously, you know, I can't remember what the heck was going on. But anyway, yeah, it turned out I couldn't go.
oh.
Yeah, if you were to rank top 5 lightweights in the States, who would they be?
Oh, geez. Well, based on today.
Yeah.
Are you based on people who are like Corey Miller out on surgeries and stuff like that? I mean,
He's back. He's back. And,
back.
yeah.
Okay. So, what is your lightweight? What do you
Let's
people
say, let's say a WAL lightweight class. Like
okay, so
165 down.
165. So you're talking is it just Americans or is it people living in America?
Just America.
Well, people that live in America, yeah.
So they don't have to.
No, it could be Roman Romanov, for example.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, Vec left hand is number one. As far as right-handed, Roman Gromov is right there. Sam Harris, Corey Miller. I know there's more. I haven't been following it. Luke Kent. Does Alan Fisher even pull much anymore? Or he
Yeah,
doesn't?
Alan still, he'll say he'll pull anybody at 165. He don't care who it is.
Okay, so he won't go down to 154.
No,
Mm,
he's not looking to make
Okay.
the cut.
Yeah, but we're talking 165s anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Alan Fisher would still be there. Adam Wilmot, I mean, look at him. He's really proven.
Yeah.
Jeff Hale. I'm sure I'm missing some. I've just been so focused on WAL the last 4 years that I really haven't looked outside of it because they've been, paying me. So
Yeah.
there's no reason for me to look outside of it, but I'm sure there's more out there. I mean, who the heck was that guy from Alabama? Real skinny and tall. Can't
Not
think of-
Robbie Russell.
I don't know. I wouldn't know his name, but he was looking strong about a year ago. I'm sure. What are ones I'm missing?
Oh, there's hundreds.
Yeah, but me myself, I'm not pulling 165s. I can't anymore.
You're done.
Yeah, due to I started working legs, and due to my genetics, my legs gained about 15 pounds in the last 6-7 months that I've been working them. It's ridiculous. Same thing back when I worked them in high school. They just get huge. Now I don't do an unbelievable amount of reps. They just get massive. I don't have it's just genetic. My dad had calves like fucking this.
Oh yeah.
He
Wow.
never worked out. It's just the way they are. And now I walk around at about 195.
Okay.
Giving
So
them
who are you getting table time with?
nobody.
Are you still contracted with Wall? Or are you like you're not no strings attached?
I think so. I don't even know, honestly.
Right.
I don't even know. I must be because I still have to ask for permission to pull elsewhere.
Okay.
So I must still be contracted.
So they're still your daddy.
They're still my daddy.
All right on. Well, we're starting to set up some matches. So and how much time we got, Rez? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So if you're willing to do a part 2, it's up to you. We want to talk to you about some of the future for arm wrestling and what things you think may not work or what things need to be fixed and pretty much talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Till next time, guys.
Are we doing part 2 right away or are we waiting?
Yeah, we gotta click off and click back on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Send me a link.